Have you ever been victimized by New Age spirituality?
We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting.
You're gonna want to listen up.
I'm Megan, an intuitive life coach and Reiki master.
I'm Ryan, a professional astrologer, and we want to show you what spirituality is by talking about what it is not.
Con artist.
Yes.
Snake oil salesman.
There are so many susceptible people out there.
And then they're tainted. They're ruined. They don't want to come back to spirituality.
We still have a lot to learn, and we will humble ourselves and learn, I think, every freaking day. This is Clairannoyance,
a podcast of spiritual interference. Well, hello.
Hi. Oh my God.
It's been so long.
It's literally been so long. You're back.
I left the country for my stepdaughter's wedding, went to Ireland, and it seemed like a lot of people just, I don't want to say, there was just an implosion. There was an implosion of emotion. So that's the best way to describe. And I was like, I don't know what to tell all you fine folk, clients, friends, family. I've given you the tools. This is a great time to implement them. Please do so. I am in the future, 6 hours ahead, trying my best to keep my own shit together.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Do you have like a backup plan set up like when you're gone? Like for like client stuff?
No, I need to though at this point. I mean, because it was just, it's a catch-22 because you want to help people, but at the same time, like if you're working with me, I am giving you tools and we are constantly practicing said tools. So if I'm not available, this is a great time for you to, get on your jam, son. So no, it was a very interesting time. How was your week?
Dude, crazy. Just crazy. Things were crazy. Nuts. Not just like nuts. I had my birthday.
And how was it? Your turn around the sun?
It was.
Oh man, if anyone's watching this, there was a slight eye shift, which is, I'm trying to reframe it into the positive, but it surely didn't go the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, well, I didn't even have expectation. And then the funniest thing is I just saw this meme recently that was like, I don't even have expectations for anything anymore. And like, I still keep getting
I'm still disappointed.
Yeah. And I was like, wait, why is that the case? Like, what is that? Because I'm like loving this like non-attachment practice anyway. No, it was like honestly shit birthday. There have been like great things that have happened since, but
no, I'm with you. The past 2 birthdays of mine have been pure stinkers.
Dude, I don't normally, and I don't care. I don't care. Like I
I do. I am a birthday bitch. I'm like, it's your personal New Year's. We should celebrate. And so I was like, what? I mean, maybe this is clearly my lesson in detachment and all that Jimmy Jam.
So before we keep like just rambling, we have like important things to say.
Let's tell you what's up. We're shooting our shot. We're spitting our shit. And what does that mean? Mr. Lickety Split.
Welcome to our first ever Serendipity session. This is so like we were contemplating, like we have a million themes that we want to talk about, like literally so many things and notes. And I'm so excited. And we've got like, new guests coming and all this stuff. But we decided to do this podcast because Megan and I were just like literally hitting it off after meeting, and we would have these like weekly calls. And just like
we didn't even have when I was thinking about that, we didn't even have like, we were just like we were just like chatting weekly. There was no like game plan for a podcast until one day you were like, yo, do you want to do a podcast? And I was like, sure do.
I know, I literally don't remember how any of this started, but we would have these like amazing conversations and like literally, we'd like update each other on our personal lives and stuff, but then like also be talking about these like crazy big issues like that are philosophical and spiritual. And I was just like, nobody talks like this. Like, it was just so great. And like just like such invigorating conversation, to be quite fucking honest. And I feel like that's a little bit of what we miss. So this is literally called the Serendipity Sessions. And we'll do this when we don't feel like just centering an entire conversation around one subject. And we'll do that still a lot. And like, I think those will be more like researched and maybe like outlined episodes. And we have a game
like
plan.
The toxic positivity. Yeah. Like
yeah.
We ain't got no format for this, folks. We free balling.
Yeah. It's like, it's literally real time. And I think it goes into the idea of like, if there are things that come up in this, like like, A, this is just our natural style and it's just gonna work. I just know it well. But also it's like it's kind of like the microcosm, macrocosm, as within, so without. It's like if
Mm-hmm.
we're dealing with things in our lives or whatever, and we just decided we're like randomly wanting to talk about it in a serendipity session, then serendipity would literally say, then it's like probably apropos. It's right, it's going to be germane to other people's lives. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be like reflected outside of you too. So like I know that things we talk about are going to be meaningful to other people
Mm-hmm.
somehow. Like if it's on our minds and we're dealing with it now, somebody else out there is dealing with it. And it's an opportunity to like literally talk about so many different things. Like we can talk about pop culture stuff, current event stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but also like I literally have not talked to Megan really since she like got back from Ireland. So like there's like a slight catch up here
Yeah.
for
I was like,
sure.
we're not even normally we have a I was like, press record. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna capture all the magic. We're gonna just
Mm-hmm.
so let's just dive in.
Yeah. I think it's so good. And I think it's also like it's our take on the bullshit of like TikTok spirituality where like which we make fun of all the goddamn time, but the whole like stop. If you're seeing this, this reading is for you. Like this didn't show up for no reason.
Are
Like
you
that
lactose intolerant?
God. I like, yeah, like I hate that shit, but this is like an actual authentic organic version of that. Like, no, I don't believe that because your video showed up on my goddamn For You page that it's for me. I don't believe
Get away
that, you
from me.
know?
Get
Yeah, but
away from me with that nonsense. Scroll up.
yeah,
X-nay on that
like,
A.
like those people are making those videos in a much more planned and thought out way than these episodes will be. Like this
Mm-hmm.
serendipity sessions like
Mm-hmm.
is gonna actually mean something. For more info, we're gonna have more, I guess, formalized description of this in the show notes. But we'll do this from time to time whenever we honestly feel like it. There's gonna be so much meat in these. I'm so excited about it.
So much meat.
There's so much meat.
Listen, the Irish are very inappropriate people. I mean, like, I had a blast, but like, when I was going over there, I like to like Google before I go somewhere, like what's offensive because Americans are known to just offend and not know culture. But it was like know your history, and like their foul mouth, and I was like, great, fan fucking tastic. So don't say top of the morning. Know your history.
Oh.
And yeah, that's a Hollywood thing. Like no one says top of the morning.
Oh my God. I
Yeah.
never knew.
Well, so, and then once you like know that you're not supposed to do something, like I wanted to say, I'm not saying top of the morning to anyone. That's not something top of the morning. But then there, I was like, God, I would
Mhm.
have never. So yeah. So coming back from travel gives you gifts. And so, and boy, was my perspective rocked during my 7 days. Ireland's a beautiful country, but rough, rough astrological time. I felt like rough energetic time. Rough, like, and not the wedding was beautiful. So anyone who attended the wedding, my God, it was amazing. But like, whew, it was just, yeah, weddings bring out interesting sides of people. I mean, but so
Mhm.
between a wedding and international travel, like I was put through the ringer. My stomach started to act up. So boom, that's a prime fear right there. So I'm in a foreign country, travel, travel issues. Things are not moving and grooving like they need to. And so panic button, forget anything that I thought I knew, I chucked that right out the window. And once my stomach started hurting, like times when I had been hospitalized, I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? There's not a damn vegetable in that country. I mean, these are meat and potato folk, root
Mhm.
vegetable all the way. And you know what? Potatoes, they love them. But I was definite. So once physically I got triggered, but I left the biggest thing that I took, like, I'm searching for something and I don't know what. I love my life. I love what I'm doing. I'm passionate about work, but there's something more. And I'm not looking outward because it's inward, but
Mm.
I know I'll find it outward if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
but I don't. And I'm having these conversations with people, and I haven't had one with you, but I was talking with Mary Dell and I'm and Josh and others, and I'm like, there's something more. Like, and I don't like, what are we missing? Is it a connection? Like, what's missing? What do I need to go on more vacations? Do I need to experience and talk to more people? But like something there, it was a restlessness that I haven't experienced. And I don't do well with restlessness. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, and so, but it's just, it's a ruminant, it's like a little ping pong, and it is just going up and down between my sternum to my bowels, pop, 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 pop. And there's something more out there, and you better believe I'm gonna find it. But it's in me. So, but I got to go out there to find it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. I mean, like it's as within, so without stuff, right? It's like, I mean, I think you acknowledging this, it's like feeding that little inner flame then, right? So it is in you, but like maybe it's just that like, okay, well, it's a little spark right now. So now you're like on a search, on a hunt, like that stoking the flames, you know? Like I think it's important, like, yeah, as within, so without.
So, but it's just it's I'm content, but it's just like these polarities. Like I'm content, but I'm not. I'm happy, but I'm miserable. It's like, and I'm experiencing this juxtaposition so intensely. And it started before, but I was like, you know what? This is just I'm I'm self-employed. Like there's a big deal. Like my little baby's getting married. Like, oh my God, I got so much on my plate, like work, this. And it just keeps growing. And so I'm like, what else can I possibly be fucking doing to be fanning this flame? Like I'm reading books, I'm listening, I'm talking to people, I'm out there. I'm like, what do I need? Do I need to go get a tattoo? Do I need to jump off a plane? Do I need to go? I don't know, like face a lion. I'm not, do I need to go just pick up a turtle? That would be facing a lion for me. I'm such a wimp when it comes to animals and wildlife.
So, some of them. I feel like maybe like there's also, I mean, obviously I can only speak astrologically and won't, I guess, go in depth on it in the astrology episode for July, but like there's like big shifts happening in July, like
Okay.
fated shifts, you know? So I feel like two things that I can only think of, like, as far as that feeling goes, is A, like, same. B, like, I mean, I had a call with a journalist. She also like reiterated a very similar sentiment. She was like, okay, it's not just me. And I was like, no, it's like a thing right now. But I was like, she knows astrology, and we were like, there's nothing really happening right now though in astrology. Like it's actually a good month. And people who aren't in this though are fine. They're totally fucking fine. All my friends are fine. You know, like they're all like having a great goddamn June, you know, like you know, but like we
Mm-hmm.
feel that we anticipate this stuff. So I feel like there's an anticipation element of like the change coming. So I don't know that
Mm-hmm.
there is a thing to land on at the moment, but also that word just change, period. The nodes are changing, north node, south node, which are the eclipse points, fate. They're changing for the first time in a year and a half. That's always big. That's going to happen in July. But then also it's happening right after Gemini season, June, right? I mean, now it's
Mm-hmm.
Cancer season. It's like we're second day of Cancer season here.
Happy birthday, crabs.
Yeah. But like Gemini is the third sign, right? And it's the first mutable sign, which mutable signs are the signs that end a season. So Gemini is the sign that introduces us to the notion of something's got to change. Something's changing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like literally a season is ending and a new one's going to begin. And so there's a fresh start on the horizon, but like, what is it? And I got to close things out right now. So that's all I can think. Like, we are coming out of a season of change, and it is a new season on the horizon, but we're in that weird in between space right now before the
Mm-hmm.
nodes change.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. And I do agree that healers, you do go through, we do go through things before the collective, which I'm not a fan of these trendy words, but it's so I can help you go through this because I've already gone through it. So,
Mm-hmm.
that is a good point that you bring up. Another thing was like timing. Like, and I'm someone like I love my routine. Oh, I love it. I was so happy. I mean, there was, like I said, I'm training for my show. I'm training for my second fitness competition in the WBFF. No gym, no air conditioning, no vegetables, no, like trying to stay on my meal plan. We got three core parents. I'm I'm a very untraditional stepmother, if you can, like
Uh-huh.
she calls me fairy. I call her mermaid, like I've known this little baby since she was in seventh grade. So I'm like, trying to keep the calmness and, like keep everyone where they need to be. Meanwhile, my stomach's hurting. Also, I'm trying, like I'm completely thrown because I'm out of my routine. I'm in this competition for to be on the cover of Muscle and Fitness Hers magazine. And right before I left, I nailed the quarterfinals, was in first place. And then we had a lull in voting, and then voting commenced the day before the wedding. Now, here's the thing about timing. Now, chances are I'm in fifth place right now. I couldn't come out strong. I was in Ireland, and it was her wedding. I mean, how tacky is that? Hey, everybody. I mean, the amount of energy it takes. And by the way, thank you for that shout out on your birthday, you sweet
Oh my
thing.
God, duh.
But yeah, it was like, obviously my priority was there. But what's so interesting, am I a little bummed? Sure. But with timing, it's so I'm freaking out about things in my immediate, in my 3D. But I also know I'm going to be on a goddamn cover. Okay. Like, so it might not be this one, which quite frankly, I had some misgivings about how this competition went down because it's a popularity contest. It's not based on your physique or what you're doing. And I enjoy processes. I enjoy hard work, but I'm not bummed that I'm in fifth place. I know what fate and destiny and my, crazy ass determination and how I'm going to will my way to wherever I need to go. So I'm not bothered. I beat out 20,000 other people to get to this spot. Like, I can't be mad at that.
No, there were so many rounds. I am like annoyed, like it's frustrating. But all you can think, honest to God, is like, yeah, how many people did you beat out? But also, like, there's a pay to vote option. Like, all you need to know is one person who's like, money is not an option. You buy that
Correct.
damn cover.
Yeah, no, and that was where it was like when it first, I mean, that first week, I was like, you know what, I don't even want to do this because I like competition. I like the thrill. And so, but it was an interesting thing with timing because I think it's the first time that because I'm very much in control of my immediate surroundings, obviously my schedule. I have to be, but I trust the timing of my business, of my personal success so much because I know what I'm capable of. I lean into, I'm so in point with my intuition. Personal life, not always, no. But like because I don't want to hurt people. Business wise and personal goals, I am so on it though. So I was like, all right, well, if not this, better. And that's that.
Right.
But honestly, is that magazine going to be in stands or is it just going to be something that I share on my Instagram story? That's where it was like, I want the real deal. Like I want like, oh, there's my bitch. She's up there.
Yeah, and like I mean, now you're much more, I think, prepared for, I guess, the next go around. Like you know how to rally the damn troops. Like you know what I mean? Like you know that like no, you should like promote this and like you should be like people will be there, but like I guess you physically also got to be like
Yeah,
around to
well,
like do it like that week. Like yeah, you were gone, and so it was just like harder. Like obviously you're literally diverted elsewhere. So
yeah, you can't be like, hey, everybody, congratulations on your wedding. We're in Ireland, but I'm not going to be able to be present for this once in a lifetime opportunity because my head is so far up my own ass licking it to make sure, like, how tacky is that? No,
no, I
God, no.
know. Yeah. No, I think
So that was and then it was like never underestimate the value or the effect that you have on people. And I think that I was thinking about you, Ryan, particularly.
mm,
The effect that you have on people, but you also don't. Like, and how can you're not someone else, you're not in their psyche, you don't know.
mhm.
But I was able to see like the effect, like in Presley, that's my stepdaughter, her vows, she's talking about the universe. And I was like, oh, my job here is done. I mean, and she's just dropping all these spiritual terms. And I was like, holy shit. I was honestly scared to talk to her about I remember we were in Atlantis in the Bahamas and I had some oracle cards from Doreen Virtue. And I was like, oh, she saw what I was doing. And I was like, do you want a reading? And she was like eighth grade. She was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to, like, I don't want to cross any boundaries. Like, because I wasn't sure about her religious affiliate. It's the South. I live in Charleston. And so, and she had referenced this in a speech she made at my wedding and then at her own wedding. But she was like, Megan exposed me to all these ideas and these concepts, and here I was not sure if I should share this. And there were cards. We did that great episode with Anna Tonk about, about
Mm-hmm.
Turo. And it was just, like here she is across and, in a labyrinth. She got married in these magical fairy gardens, and she's dropping, she's talking about the universe. She's talking about, the fact that, she's an empath and, the lady who married her, I think it was like twin flames elopement. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not a fan of twin flames, but cool nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
So the lesson here is if you're listening to this, don't ever underestimate the impact that you have on somebody. A kind word, a smile, a gesture, a text message. You might have the briefest interaction with someone. You might work with them for 20 minutes, have a project, and then not see them again for 20 years. But something you said in that moment, especially when you're an authentic person and you're authentically living within yourself. I mean, it's moments, man. And I think that this restlessness that I'm searching for, it's in the moments. It's in the moments that you and I are creating this podcast and that we're talking and doing work. It's in the moments. It's not the grand production, it's the moments. So don't ever underestimate, the effect that you have on somebody.
I think that's so well stated. Totally. Totally. And like, yeah, I mean, like, because I think, yeah, don't underestimate it, but also like, don't, I guess, overestimate it either, right? Like that's
Correct.
like,
Yeah. Don't think you're so important in someone's life that they're hanging on every word that you say, which also some people do. Um, where they're like, you don't remember what I said on February 3rd, 2006. It's like, no, I don't. And the value of health. I mean, we were down two grandpas. Josh's dad got pneumonia right before, which was such a bummer. And then Presley's other grandfather, he's older, it's a walking trip. He couldn't hang. And then my mother-in-law, she's 76 and, spry, but we called her Speedy. She's not balanced on her feet. She's a fall risk. And like, that spirit is there, but it's like the value of health cannot be understated. And I don't care how old you are, start taking your vitamins, start drinking that water, eat a vegetable and go for a walk. You are a complicated house plant. Go outside and let that sun hit your retinas because you don't have health, baby. You got nothing.
No, it's so true. Oh God, it's so true.
It was just these like life lessons that you already knew, but it was just like I don't know. It was just, and then with my stomach hurting and, like I'm having to talk to these pharmacists about like, what kind of fiber do you have? Like, please help me. So it was just, and Europe's so old, like that. It's so like we walked into like St. Patrick's Cathedral. I nearly had to run right out. Like you could just tell some heavy shit has gone down in there. Like it was like, oh, I gotta go. Like it's right here. It's choking me. Like I don't know if this is like some sort of medieval conflict, like who has been slayed here in the name of Jesus that really wasn't Jesus, and y'all religious folk totally screwed this up, or what kind of loss has gone on here. But it was a choking feeling when I walked into this very holy establishment. I had to delete the videos off my phone. Like I would look at them and I would feel that same feeling, and I was like, oh, I don't know, but like I said, this restlessness. I gotta get to the, like, what is it? What is it?
I mean, there's something you said that like reminded me of this. I'm not saying that this is it, but like a serendipity would say like maybe there's something to this. There's this book that I saw that like it was like a fascinating perspective, and I read this whole article about it. I forget, like it's called like The Long View. I think it was called The Long View. Basically being like in the name of like the history that you're talking about, because I think that's so true, like where like so much has happened in the spaces that you were at versus like these like new developments here where it's like you're not going to feel energetically as much, right? But anyway, this book is basically talking about how like we have like an epidemic of short-termism, like live in the moment.
Be present. Yeah.
Yes, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like, what? Fine, fine, fine. But like, I guess like this article was showing all these different examples of like the financial sector and politics and all of these ways that we now like condition everybody to just be like, live, like take it day by day, one step at a time, be in the moment. But he's like, the thing that makes us human is our ability to learn from the past, to envision a greater future. And he like talks about like in all these indigenous tribes who are like, it doesn't mean they don't respect the present moment, but they are like connected to intergenerational like stories. And
Yeah.
like they really view things from this much more like holistic space. And he's like, I guess like the a big part of it was like, I guess the future element where he's like, we're literally facing like global crisis like right now, like with climate change, all sorts of things, right? And he's like, so do you really want to just keep thinking like day to day? Let's just take it one day at a time. Cause like, no, like he's like, we're not gonna develop our solutions that are like facing us.
Yeah, I want to enjoy the moment, but like I
Mhm.
can't live in the present. I am planning, like what needs like the goals, the visions, the this. And then also you have to glean from the past so you don't repeat the same mistakes. If it's Groundhog Day, fuck that. I
Right.
don't, like Bill Murray kept trying to kill himself in that, like or unalive himself. Sorry, sensitive algorithms. We don't promote that. But in that movie, he keeps like toaster in the bathtub, like you have to have all realities so you can make the best decision. Otherwise, you're just a hamster. No thanks.
Right. No, exactly. Honestly, I think like your point of like just like being in Europe and you're like, it's so old and that you could feel it.
You could feel the pain, like, and it was just like, and Charleston's old, like, like I live on the East Coast, it's old as dirt. And then you go there and it's just, there's energy there and you can just feel it. And it's like, what happened here? Like, what pain happened?
Right. And that is literally, I think, just physiologically, you had a response, viscerally, a response to history, which is like, I think, I
I
guess
love
to the
that.
author's point, is what makes you human. Like you couldn't help that. No amount of like here and now mindset is gonna ignore that. You know?
Well, and then we went to see like the Book of Kell, which was cool. And they were walking around this old like Trinity College, which is like the sister to Cambridge University. It's one of like, it was cool. And so that was neat, but it was just like, I don't feel good.
Mm.
So I love that perspective because I was like, oh my God, why am I having this visceral reaction, this body reaction?
Yeah, you're in a space that's had like centuries on us. like I mean, like developmentally, I guess. I mean, there was obviously civilization before we took it over, but
The potato famine. I mean, and there are these fences that are just random like rocks, just fences everywhere. And it was like, there's no purpose for this fence. Why is it here? And the British government was like, well, if you want a cup of soup, hey, I know at least 1 million of y'all have died, but we feel like you need to work for this. But we have enough to feed everybody. In fact, we're throwing food away over here in England, but y'all need to build this fence and here's a cup of soup. So there's these random rock fences all over, and you're just like, holy. And also don't ask for a car bomb over there. I don't drink, but I was like, who in their right mind would ask for an Irish car bomb? But you're not in your right mind. Like, so history, like those were the things you would think, like if that was a shot that you wanted to drink, or like, that's something. Don't go to Ireland and be like, hey, let me remind you of some really troubled past that you had. Here's a
yeah.
really tacky, terrible shot. Which brings me to my next topic. Y'all are tacky as fuck, make it about this submarine. Yeah, I know you're pissed too. Let's switch topics dramatically.
This
Tacky.
like sub thing. Well, it's really weird because like honest to God, I didn't even actually know that it was a thing until like 2 nights ago, maybe. Because I've just been like busy, like literally just like focused on work. So I just like kind of like was like, what the hell? Because I saw people posting about it. Like, I'm glued to the TV on this submarine thing. And so I finally just Googled submarine and was like, what the hell is going on here? And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then like you'd see all these like crazy crass posts on social media of people like laughing. And I'm like, 5 people are literally like at the bottom of the ocean floor, like maybe dead already. If not very much
God.
like at like running out of oxygen right now, and very aware of that. and they don't know that the entire world around them is like laughing in their faces about it. I hate billionaires, right? Like whatever. I think the whole thing's stupid. I wouldn't have gone down there myself. Like whatever.
Yeah, I'm white, but I'm not. I'm gonna go check out the Titanic with a video, with a submarine that's controlled by a Nintendo remote.
No, I don't give it. Yeah, no, I saw the movie. It was enough. I don't care. I just don't care. Like whatever. But like I just can't fathom. Just also, I think the thought of like not obviously not knowing, but just like you'd kind of like put yourself in that perspective of like I feel like I could like feel my breath like shortening myself because I'm like they're
Yes.
down there somewhere like running out of breath right now.
Hopefully it just imploded, like
And it was
boom.
quick or something. I know. But,
Yeah, like
Jesus.
that. And they didn't know, because I think the mental anguish, and also then we have this boat that, capsized off of the coast of Greece, and so many,
Right. Which I had no idea about. I had no idea until this.
Well, it was interesting. The reason I knew is because we were in Europe. So the BBC, I'm sorry, their news is better. So you can be equally upset for human life when it all sucks. It's all terrible. But I think that it's a low for humanity, dude. It's a low for humanity.
I think it's a low on fucking media, number one. Like, I mean, I literally pulled up the stats as one of the one things I actually came into this wanting to like really say something about, but just like fucking say it. The boat with refugees on it, said as of recording, 78 bodies have been discovered so far. 104 people were rescued. An estimated 500 others are missing and presumed dead.
That's so sad.
So that sucks. So screw the press for like obviously like not making anybody aware of this. Nobody knew. It's probably the one good thing that's come out of this like submarine thing. Yes, I understand billionaires like are terrible people and like they're obviously like killing a lot of us, but I'm not gonna like I guess it's not like an eye for an eye thing in my mind.
I'm not gonna sink to anybody's load, to like a human life is a human life, and I'm not God and neither are you. And so there's
a 19-year-old on there. Like 19-year-old. Like, come
father,
on.
Father, son. Yeah, father, son.
Like, it's fucking bonkers. I just can't fathom. It just made me like appreciate life more. It's just one of those things. I don't know. I would much rather sit and like let it be a reminder for me that like, oh my God, I get to breathe. I'm here. And especially like I had like come out of like a good little depressive streak, to be quite honest. And so that was like a good like wake up call for me to be like, man, I'm not sitting at the bottom of the ocean right now, like literally running out of air. Like, I'm not gonna laugh about this. And it's weird because like I would have like these mental trips about it because I'm like, oh God, the jokes really do write themselves for damn sure. But there were so many just the like one-liners running through my head about this. And like, and then you see all these social media. I won't lie, there were a few I laughed at for damn sure. They were funny content. It was funny. Like, yeah, good job. You were funny there, but no, it's not funny. I don't find it funny.
Your brain sometimes will go to depraved places because that's human nature. It doesn't mean that you sit there and stew with it and have a party.
I just don't see the benefit of it. I don't think it's going to do any good for anyone. I just like, honest to God, feel like may they rest in peace. Like I don't have, and those families, could you imagine? Like, I don't know, like, no, I don't know anything about them. I don't know how good or bad they've been on their like earthly time, but like, Jesus Christ, like I don't think I've ever seen like such a, like, I remember like, Osama bin Laden, like people celebrating at his like, capture or whatever, but like, I don't remember ever seeing such a just a crude, crass, like, let's literally these people are out of breath and we're just gonna like keep the jokes a rolling.
Yeah.
Ooh, it was just like so sad. It's just God, so for me, so reflective of like what.
Well, it's that what are we doing? And all like, and then the only thing that I did laugh at was this meme of like these orcas, because now we got
The
orcas
orca.
gone wild,
Yeah, dude.
they're really taking eat the rich to a new level. And what's going on? Are we under alien invasion? Like I just came across that something's going on and like that's being censored. We need to talk to some sort of alien expert at some point.
It's so funny you say that. I literally just wrote down some alien stuff yesterday. I also agree. We need to get an alien person on.
I I want like somebody from like NASA, or
Mhm.
somebody who's like not you in your backyard with an antenna. Bless it, but there's something going on there though. Something like somebody's trying to make contact.
All I did was Google alien, and I mean, like, I'm seeing like there's like I guess aliens arriving in Las Vegas. There's like been encounters and things like there the past few days.
Of all places, they're like, before we fuck you guys up, we're gonna take a spin at this gambling. It's looks fun.
Yeah, right. Or it's like they just saw a bunch of lights and they're like, let's stop there. So weird. Man, yeah, what else?
What's been going on with you?
Crazy shit, man. Like crazy shit. Um, honestly, uh, I think I have like two themes. I just think this is interesting, and we can go more in depth on this, like in an episode, because I know we have an episode about the elements that we were talking, like that we've like considered, right? Basically, one of my friends does something here. She just started it called like the backyard banquet, which is like the whole point is basically to like start spiritual community. And so she invites these like people over. She's got this beautiful house, beautiful backyard here. And she'll invite people over. It's like 12-ish people every once a month for this like kind of like there's like food and drinks, but then she just like activates it. She does like a workshop or talk or something. And they did Reiki
Cool.
in the first one. So anyway, I was the service provider for the second one. And so I gave everybody like little mini astrology readings, but the whole theme of it was archetypes, which I think archetypes is a dope thing. We should have my friend Julia on to talk about like her version of archetypes because she's also like trained in psychology, like master's level, I believe, and
Oh,
like
cool.
can totally get into archetypes like in that way.
Yeah.
So she, took the Jungian perspective, Carl Jung, right? He like came up with archetypes. Now we've got all these archetypes, like the hunter, and like the mother and the maiden. A gym rat would be an archetype. Like there's so many. We contextualize the human experience through these roles. But Jung basically made something called the four personality types, which he identified like thinking, feeling, sensation, intuition, which literally are the four elements. And so I literally was like, let me like do this reverse thing and like go back in time all the way to the like four elements because those are like the initial four archetypes. It's the literal building blocks of this world. Jung ended up being inspired by all these other people throughout history who have all identified four different ways of explaining these four elements, like all the way back, dude, like Hippocrates, Plato. These are all these people who we respect in society and whatever. We're all also astrologers. So go figure. So yes, it's all astrology, but it's funny because like really, what is astrology? It is the synthesis of archetypes, meaning
If somebody was drinking for every time that you said archetypes, they would be
oh,
so
sorry.
wasted. No, it's just so. Here's a little Ryan cue, guys. When he starts dropping a word, he is passionate. He's about to take
Oh
you on a
God.
Gemini excursion, and I
Oh
invite
no.
you to buckle your seatbelt
Oh God.
and go for
Well,
it.
wait, because
Tell me
like
about the archetypes, baby.
okay. Well, trust me. I guess I'm trying to contextualize it and like how it kind of like goes back to the four elements.
Uh-huh.
Basically you take it all the way back in time and it can be like what are like archetypes? Gods,
Yeah.
goddesses.
Oh.
That's what these things are,
Oh.
right? Gods and goddesses, which yes, like sure there were like worship, you'd worship them or
Yeah.
whatever,
So
right?
like Zeus,
But
like Athena, like okay.
yes, they were basically like elemental energy, right? You'd
Uh-huh.
see Mars, god of war, but also other gods, and they viewed him in the sky, right? Like it's not this like monotheistic version of a god that we now have in our Christian conditioned brains. It's these energies. We looked at them as pinnacles of an expression of something, right? Of love
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. And so like we would model ourselves off of them, right? Because we're like, well, they are like the best of it. And it's like Mars, god of war, would like be doing something crazy in the sky and oh, there's a war, right?
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, so all these gods and stuff come off of like these like elements. But so then I'm like, in my mind, then I'm like, okay, well, let me go all the way back to like now, like how did we lose this? Like I really like asked myself this. I was like,
Oh.
where did we stop caring about elements. Like they literally are ingrained in everything, like everything. Get this. I just think it's so interesting and like the as above, so below, as within, so without, and like the power of the elements as being a literal building block for life. We really kind of, I mean, there's whatever debatable, but lost a whole lot of elemental care at the Industrial Revolution, which was a globalized revolution where we said, look what humans can do now. Instead of caring so much about the elements and these like things that are pinnacles of actual expression that we should live up to or mirror ourselves after, we stopped caring about setting things up because of things that we respect and outside of us, and said, let me be the god and let me take earth and create industry, create factory, create capitalism, create all these things that are now literally ruled by earth. Like in astrology, that's how you would refer to capitalism and work and government and all these things.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because like Capricorn represents the big banks, and okay, yeah, I'm following.
Right. And so, and all of these things evolve over time. Like consciousness evolved. We've done amazing things. It is amazing what we've done. Like, look at us talking through Zoom right now. Like the
100 years ago,
technology.
this
Like,
would be crazy. Yeah.
this is communication. This is air, right? Nuts. Like, it's cool what we've done. However, to what expense? So, like, I'm literally like kind of just like putting all these like crazy pieces together. And I just like in my head, I'm like, we don't care about the elements anymore, right? Just like as far as like energetically what they are. And so I literally was like, when did we forget it? Because now we've got, again, power systems and whatever. It sucks. Like where I think a big problem currently is that like we're not at fault. We weren't around at the Industrial Revolution, but like these people in power are now making decisions and ruling over us in ways that they're not drawing upon the elements. They're not saying, well, is this elementally correct? Is this elementally like something to strive for? And our power structures are conditioned by humans thinking that they can master the elements essentially, and we obviously cannot, right? As seen by the submarine at the bottom of the ocean, we cannot control water is smashing these people right now. And anyway, so that question stuck out on my mind. I swear this is my big point that I like think is nuts. I was like, when did we forget? And I was like, forgetfulness. Forget is memory is water. Literally water rules the concept of memory. It's why like witches and like whatever will tell you like, infuse your water with an intention, it holds memory. And water is the past, right? So I'm like, let me look. When did our water issues really start becoming a problem on Earth? Industrial Revolution. When we forgot about the elements. And then I go, when did these like memory issues start happening with humans, like Alzheimer's, dementia? It's like on the heels of the Industrial Revolution. Oh, the name Alzheimer's is coined. And ever since then, water issues, water access, water cleanliness has gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. You look at the stats coming up in the next 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, whatever, parallels the increase expected in Alzheimer's and memory. We've forgotten water. We are mistreating the literal element, and now humans' memory.
Yeah.
We've chosen to like disregard the way that we literally have sustainably lived on this goddamn earth up until the Industrial Revolution, when all of our elemental issues have been concerned. And then it made me think of like just like everything right now. Like how many people are living in poverty, earth, right? Like because of these unfair structures, earth.
When there's clearly enough food to go around for everyone, but we have people starving to death.
Food deserts.
Yeah.
Earth, right? I'm sitting here making these connections as well in this, and like I don't think my friend will listen to this, but if she does, I'm sorry, I don't mean this in any negative way. But she knew that I was like looking for like more of like spiritual community and whatever here, and so I was like really excited about this event, and I loved it. It was a great event. But then like it was all women, and as much as like I really enjoyed it, like I definitely felt like othered and not really, there part of it. So I was like, damn it.
I was about to say, I'm so bummed because that's something that you've been craving out there. And that's why you enjoyed Charleston so much, is because of the community
right
that we have here.
I know. Yeah. And so that got me thinking where I was like, ugh, like, and there's such an epidemic of loneliness.
Yes.
And I was like, you know, and like I've like always, I mean, you know, anything, anybody goes in and out of like, I guess, loneliness and feeling isolated and blah, 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 blah. But it definitely like the epidemic of loneliness came about when? At the onset of COVID. So communication, social
Mhm.
isolation stopped, air element. And what was COVID? Oh, an airborne virus where the epidemic of loneliness now has set in. And even though it's done, like we're still in it. Like we have the social ramifications
Mhm.
of what COVID did,
Yeah.
like crazy to me, like just fucking bonkers. I don't know. So for me, I'm just literally like kind of like I keep making
So yeah,
connections.
you're on a mystery. You're chasing a mystery. You're chasing
I know that this it's so weird and there's nothing to say about it other than like how can you continually
there's so much to say and there's so much not I mean, there's so much to speculate, I guess is the best.
well and totally and like I think like okay, let me say one more thing about it really quick. The diagnostic end of it I find fascinating, meaning you go back to Hippocrates who created the Hippocratic Oath, which still is what doctors take to become like medical professionals, right? So he had his four versions of the elements, which are like phlegmatic and caloric and like of sanguine and whatever he'd called them. But he was a physician in 400 BC. And so he literally in the second paragraph of the Hippocratic Oath, it says essentially, paraphrase, like you shouldn't be practicing medicine if you don't have knowledge of the stars. Literally, basically calling upon the four elements to say you can diagnose like issues.
Side note, when I was hospitalized that one time and you were like, what? And I was twice that year and you checked something and you were like, oh, I forget where Scorpio was, but it literally represented the bowels. And like, there's no way to predict, obviously, but going back in retrospect, you were like, this, and this, bing, bong, a ding, ding. And I was like, well, that's my bowels were twisted. Thank you, Scorpio. Yeah.
100%, dude. 100%, dude. And so like I don't need my doctor to be able to read my fucking birth chart, but like I whatever, but like but cool. Again, there are actual like medical astrologers who are physicians who actually do this, like so whatever. But I I I I was really interested in the diagnosis and healing of archetypal energies and stripping it that far back. So my version of that was like while you were away, I had a situation occur that brought up like this really awful feeling of jealousy in me. And I behaved in a way in that situation that I was like not proud of and like was very not me. Granted, I was under the influence, but I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. And it caused all these other like issues. And, but mainly, like, I mean, personal, like I just dealt with on my own. Right. But I really, really sat with that and was like, why am I getting like overtaken by this feeling of jealousy? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck? I hate this. What is jealousy? Earth energy, and I can only identify this language because I know astrology, right? Like that's the only way I can like make these connections. I guess it's a feeling, right? But like jealousy implies like you have something I want. There's a greed, a thing, right? Would be an earthly
Mm-hmm.
there's like a value attached if there's a jealous factor. So I literally just stripped it back that simply. I was like, I am jealous. I am like, it's kind of like really an issue that I want to get rid of and like diagnose this, Ryan. What are you doing in your earthly life right now? Treating myself like shit, not working out the way that I should be, poor ass fucking diet, apartment's a goddamn mess, dealing with like
Mm-hmm.
you know, definitely like just like financial issues, like totally like, you know, like do what I can with it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like also like probably not completely optimizing it. Like what
Mm-hmm.
my earth, I'm not taking care of my earth, you know what I mean? And now these very real life
Mm-hmm.
situations can play out that are like you know, the illness, I guess, of I think, or at
Yeah.
least I can tie that back, right? Upon this realization, the feeling of jealousy lifts. No joke. It was so
Wow.
fucking like, oh my God, I don't feel this anymore.
Mind
I just
blowing.
don't feel this anymore.
Yeah.
And then weirdly, just like this huge feeling of like love came in. Like it was the weirdest fucking thing. And then from there, like this is very like recent. From there, like this submarine news came out, which I thought was crazy because I was really like overcome by the feeling of love. Love is water. And I felt love, still do, for these people in the face of nobody else fucking feeling that for them. And I feel love.
Yeah.
But then also, I watched this video of like weirdly, I don't even know why. I'm obsessed with near death experiences. Like, I think it's interesting, but I never like watch videos about it. But I watched this one video for some reason of this woman who had one, and she was just telling this long story. And basically, she, got to her like after life situation and ran into like, I guess, God or her version of God. And she was like, oh, she said, I felt so much love there, like in heaven or whatever, in this space, right? And the one question God asked her was, have you loved anybody the way that you feel love here right now? And she was like, no. How could I? Like, this is like incredible. Like, this is heaven, basically. Like, I never want to leave. And he was like, try harder, and like sent her ass back. And all I could literally think at that time, dead fucking serious, all I could think was like, it's easy to, it is like awful sometimes to feel like I love somebody so much more than like they love me, or I can care about people more than they care about me, like, and it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. And you got to be selective and like, right. Like you're going to run out of your water. You're going to run out of your water if you're giving it to everybody. But, I don't regret it. Like I can't, oh my God, I'm so happy. Cause all I could think was like, if that's the question I got fucking asked, did I like love? I feel like I love like that much as my, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure could like love me more, but good God, I know I love more than I think other people are willing to or have the capacity to. And
no, you're brave enough. I think we all have a very deep capacity to love. It's the fact that people aren't brave enough because they're so afraid of getting heartbroken. So it's easier to hide that. So the fact that you're willing to put your heart on your sleeve and to pronounce that and to be okay with loving someone more or having, than they may love you or be able to show. So it's bravery and courage is what that is. So you went on a
dude, I
fucking
had
journey,
like, and there wasn't
bruh.
even like a one single shroom involved. Like this was like shroom level revelations. I'm not kidding you, dude. It was like shroom level revelations for me. And like also in this like feeling of getting the jealousy off of me, which was tied to a very specific person who I'm sure you could guess the one name of.
Oh,
Why
I
does
know.
this name
baby,
show up everywhere, right?
Yeah,
And I know. But then like, so the feeling of jealousy leaves me. I get overtaken by this feeling of love. I feel love for these people in the submarine. I get this like NDE story about love. And I feel like it felt like a message for me, of like, keep fucking loving to your goddamn heart's extent, Ryan. Like, go look at you, like being able to even do this.
You know what? I needed to hear that too, because I've been withholding.
And then guess who hits me up?
Mr. Man.
And and it had been since it had been a couple weeks of like pretty much nothing. Dude, amazing night. And it's not even like, where it's like, oh, like my expectations are up or I think anything else of it, right? But
what a beautiful revelation.
It was a beautiful revelation. It was an amazing fucking night that I got like spent elsewhere. And literally just like amazing. And like that word, the L word, was flying around like left and right in a way that I was like, not even like, again, not in this like way of like, but it was like I could feel it. It was like, no, that it's so there. Like, and it just never is verbalized in that way because it's just not really like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it was just so interesting to me. Like, I'm like so appreciative so much, and it's like, it's just nice because like God coming out like, oh God, like the last couple of weeks, it's just been like,
well, you know what? When someone is acting like and misbehaving, that's when they need the most love. And that's when we will love guard, where it's like, no, you're not weird. So we put these expectations on love. And, there are a few people right now that I could do better with, that I've been love guarding because I'm like, so that meme that you shared, by the way, Ryan is the meme king of our Clairannoyance account, but it was like, babe, are you okay? You're not showing up the way I've been thinking about you.
I forgot what
yeah. So, and that's where it's been like, I'm having to really mourn who I want. I see people's potential. And so with professionally, I've done an amazing job because I see your potential. You're paying me to work with you, though. I'm gonna push you to that potential. And it's so hard for me to switch that off in my personal life because these are like my friends and my loved ones and people that I love. And it's like, no, bitch, love me for me. Like, I don't need you to fix me. I can fix me. Love me for me. And it's so, and then I get my feelings hurt because I'm not needed or I'm not. So that was good. That was deep.
Dude.
Job well done, boo.
Oh, thank you. I think,
What a birthday revelation.
dude, I mean, like, really. Yeah. Because, yeah. I don't, the other thing that I was going to talk about was actually the NDE story, because I just thought that that was so fascinating. And I was like, going to go on a whole thing about just like, fuck you. Like, if you love as much as you fucking can, like, you're the one that's capable of that feeling, which I think is the most amazing revelation. You know?
I think that's where it's like, and it's loving without expectation. And that's where it's like when you're and looking at, like, I have a situation in my life where I'm like, this person I know loves me. Yeah, but like where they are at, they can't give me what I need. You know, like, and this is so true for family, friends, romance, everywhere. And it's like I'm so butthurt, you know, like, because I'm sensitive. I'm a sensitive thug. And so yeah, and they're not in a position to love me how I need to be loved, even though it's so hard to get close to me because I have a hard time letting people go. I just put you to the outer web. And when I give you the manual on how to love me, and then I feel like you haven't read it, you know, like I'm like, here you go. Here's everything you need. And it's like, and then I have to remind myself, it's not about me, but it's so hard when you have attachments to people and to love people not attached. And so loving without condition is how love should be, but it's so hard because it's so hard to, because you're afraid to get hurt. You're afraid to let people, I've got friends coming back in. One girl that I was like, I'm never talking to this bitch again. And then she texts me, and I'm such a sucker. I'm such a sucker. She texts me. She's like, I missed you. I'm like, oh, hey, boo. I love you too. What you doing, girl? And then I'm like, oh, Megan. But then it's like, but what if, like Josh said this to me once, because I'm like, you are who your friends are. Tell me who your friends are. I'll tell you who you are. You're the 5 people you hang out with. And we have a wide variety of friends. I've got friends in high places and I've got friends in low places and all sorts of places. But the people who, like, if you're partying, right, and you're doing 8 balls and you're drinking, I'm not going to stop not talking to you. Like, if you're misbehaving or you're doing things or you're not treating yourself or others well, what if I'm the only good thing left? What if I'm the last goodness in your life? You know, like, and so it's trying to figure out those boundaries. Like, what if I'm the influence that can help you out of that? I'm going to keep this channel open, but it's just so hard. That's where I struggle with. Where do you put the kibosh? Where do you keep it open? Where do you keep trying? Where do you say, like, I know that you love me and I love you, but it's not like, this is painful.
Right. I know. I know. And like, it's going to ebb and flow. Like right now I'm in such a moment of gratitude, right? I'm like, I'm fine.
Like, you just keep loving them no matter what. I know.
Kind of. Yeah. It doesn't mean that like you gotta like have some like very like tangible relationship with them and like they're like in this functional, practical part of your life either, though. I just think about like all the people that have said like, stop it. I don't like this person for you. Well, I don't get on, like they're not good for you. Bad influence. Well, I got it. Like, I got it. But like, good God, like my inability to do anything but show love to that person.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like I could just see the difference and like their ability to be like, I don't deserve it. Like the crap treatment. And so I'm seeing this change and I'm not asking for it. I don't have expectation for the change, but I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the difference that I guess like I think my love can make.
Love can change you. Like love can, it empowers people, and it's the one thing that we're here to do is love one another, like the end, like
literally. But I think it's like, and it's relational, right? Like it's relational. But I do think it's like, I forget like where I got this, but this is like one of my big revelations after my, breakup fucking last March. No, at this point, dead serious, where I was like, fuck, like I just like love is great. And like, how are we just gonna give that up and blah, 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 blah. this person that you lost or that isn't yours, or you're not going to have the physical relationship with that maybe you want for whatever reason, maybe they like were the object of the love, but that love came from within you. You felt love. Love was not this energy that just swarmed around you and embraced you and now it's gone. Like you mustered that, you know, like that's fucking power. You're the one with the capacity for that love. That doesn't mean you can't do it for someone else, for yourself, for other people, whatever, you know, like that person is not the source of your love. They're not. They maybe drew it out of you. They maybe showed you how, but like it's you.
Yeah.
It's always you.
Mm-hmm. Which then goes into a whole different topic, is like the epidemic of loneliness, and you know, like, and how people are afraid of their emotions, so they'll numb out or they'll avoid. And I mean,
this is a problem. It's a huge problem, and it's why I'm like, I'm not gonna stop. Like, see, this is totally been one of my revelations for damn sure. I'm like, no, because people don't know how to feel, for sure. They don't know, and they're scared. And like, I'm whatever. Like, you can think I'm weird. You can think I'm too much. I don't cool. I don't care. But like,
well, we are weird and we are too much, but we weren't here to, you know,
yeah, I'm not,
that's part of our charm.
Yeah.
You know, like that's why we're we're here to incite change. And so if we were doing, you gotta, you know, the black sheep has to be different. And I always tell my black sheep, like, you're not gonna be understood, but you are deeply loved. 9 times out of 10. Yeah.
Just like you started with this whole thing, you don't know the influence you have on other people. They may never tell me. Like, I don't know, but if that's why you're doing it.
Well, and it's our egos. And then also they just, humans want to be seen and heard and validated. They want to be, you know, like, and so, and that's a vulnerability, which I don't like the word vulnerability, but that's the courage to be open.
Right.
You know, so. And
it's hurt. We do need that. But I think if you're acting out of it, no, it's not good.
I just realized that I've been so butthurt by people lately that I knew I was doing it, you know, like, but it's like, I've been so busy and I've been so, you know, like, and I've got so many projects going on and deadlines and so many people rely on me and I've got to be the face of this and la, la, la. And so it's provided me just an excellent escape to not address this. And then I've been like, I've told you, I've given you the manual, you know what I need, and you're not doing it. So it's a clear sign of disrespect and you don't value me. And I am hurt and I'm going to sit in these feeling. And I'm taking, my brother made this joke. I'm taking my toys. I'm leaving the playground. I'm going home. Like, you don't get to play with it.
I'm not going to share with you anymore.
But that's not my nature. So then it feels extra shitty. And then I'm so busy that I'm just like, well, you know, like, this is just, you know, heavy is the head that wears the crown, which is ridiculous. You know, okay. But this is all self-imposed, Megan. You were not on a boat trying to find a better place, you know, and with 600 people knowing, oh, this is probably not the safest, but this is how desperate I am to get out of where I live. Shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a very strong reminder.
I think before we go on another tangent, let's wrap up this serendipity session because it's amazing. I mean, this has already been an amazing one.
I feel good about it.
You hit me in the heart. Aww. You hit me hard with it. With your, I wasn't sure where we were going at first.
I know. Well, but I have to explain it. Like, you know, like, I don't know.
I like it. Listen, it's a wild ride because I have to pay attention. I'm like, all right, elements, astrology, yes, wind, fire, earth. Yeah. Oh, and then I was like, all right, where? And I like to anticipate. And I was thinking we were going somewhere with like Pluto and Capricorn or whatever happened, Uranus, whatever happened during the Industrial Revolution that you had told me, like, planet wise. I was like, well, that's happening again. So I wonder if we're gonna circle back around. And I was completely in like trying to figure out this mystery, this wild ride you had taken me on. I was so wrong, and I love being wrong.
Good.
Listen, you better be quick-witted to pay if you're. Hopefully you better be on your ones and twos, listeners.
Sorry.
If you're gonna keep up with Ryan. Don't you dare apologize for who you are. We only apologize when we've done something wrong.
Right, totally.
Well, I love this. I love you. I'm happy to be back. Let us all find love and be restless together in the pursuit of whatever sets your motherfucking soul on fire.
May you all have a goddamn joyful ass week.
Fucking love yourself.
Love
Yeah.
yourself. Love yourself. Love your life. You're breathing. You're breathing.
Yeah, you're snorting oxygen. You got a good thing going.
Enjoy that shit.
All right, bless it. We will be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.